Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Welcome to the negotiation activity, assessment 3 for our unit.
Yeah.
So I'll be representing Perth-based firm and myself, Raghav Bali, student number 10392767.
I am Lucas Kemboi, I'm student number 104132331. I'll be representing Malaysian Enterprise.
Hello, myself Bilal, and my student ID is 10495013. And today I would be representing local Langkawi Eco-Sustainability Society.
Perfect. So let's move on to our business prospect, guys. So moving on to the very first thing, and the utmost important is budget. So as you all are aware, the budget that we have for the project is 65 million Australian dollars. And I think the big chunk of that would be going towards the construction and development.
Yes.
So over to you, Lucas.
So I feel like due to the higher cost of construction, materials and labor, I'll go with 70% because also I'll need to look into permits because permits will be required to construct on an island. So I feel like 70% is going to be really comfortable for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, I am representing local Langkawi Eco-Sustainability. So I would be implanting so much high machineries for the betterment of the society for eco-sustainable environment. So I reckon I could get 25% of the budget.
So what do you mean when you say machinery?
So in 25% in machinery, I would be able to get machinery for rainwater harvesting and the water treatment plants, which are the basic and the most important for the eco-sustainability. As you know, for water treatment plants, it would be very much recycling process and for the betterment of eco-sustainability. So it's gonna be worth it for 25% for that machinery.
So that's 70% in construction, 25% for your sustainability,
I left you.
and that's just 5% for me, which will be including all the marketing and all the water-based activities and adventure sports.
Yeah.
I don't think, gentlemen, that's an appropriate amount for me because 5% is way too less. I mean, when you look at that 25% of the chunk, which goes out to just for the eco-sustainability, we're not making any revenue out of that amount.
Yeah.
I mean, his 70% is pretty much explainable, but 25% just for eco-sustainability, that is not something that will make us revenue. So I think you might have to renegotiate on that.
Yeah. What about if you go down to 20%? What do you think about it?
See, as I mentioned earlier, it's a eco-sustainability thing. So I know there is not much of labor thing required in it, but as a machinery cost, as a monitoring of that machineries and everything, I think 25% is worth it because it's gonna be work it out that way. I can't do anything about it. But you
I feel like because you're dealing into ecosystem, but we wouldn't run like really good as a resort if you're focusing on that because it's only about maybe solar panels, something that will really help the environment. But we're looking at constructing it, running it before we hand over to you and do that. I feel like 20% would be a really nice number, maybe.
well, so I can.
But the project won't work if it.
Yeah, your project because you already.
You need to have a.
Well, I can work it out at 20%, and the remaining 5% you can carry on with your project.
Perfect. Then that's pretty much concluded. So 10% I get for my budget, and it gives you 20% for your eco-sustainability and 70% for the construction and development.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Easy. Okay. Let's move on to the second prospect then, which will be the amount of money that you're spending on the resort development for the local community and the eco-sustainability. Can you give us straight as the numbers and what are we spending it on?
Yeah, I think out of 65 million, I'll be looking to 45.5 million because of the materials and the labor and all those permits that I will need to run the resort. So I feel like 45.5 million is fine for me.
Okay.
In my case, it's around 13 million Australian dollars, and it's just because I'm so much doing for eco-sustainable environment. So 25% of whole of my budget is gone towards the water corporation and the local Langkawi people so that they can get benefit from it, because I'm looking for their betterment and to support the local people out there.
So did you say 25% of your budget goes out for Langkawi people?
Yeah, it's included in $13 million, like 25 million of $13 million. So it's included in my budget.
So what are you gonna give it to the? So how are you giving it? I mean, you're not handing over the cash to the people, right?
No.
So yeah, I will be offering the amount of water to the local community. Amount of water.
And how are you planning to do that?
Like, as I mentioned earlier about the rainwater harvesting,
Yeah.
and about the water treatment plants. So it's gonna be, as you know, in Langkawi's weather, there is so much rain every year. So we're gonna store that water in our storage rooms, and we're gonna help them, the local Langkawi people, so that they can get benefit from there, because it takes so much amount of money to build that rainwater harvesting storage system and water treatment plants.
Yeah, I think that's
That sounds nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a unique selling proposition for us.
Yeah.
Well, that's good on you, Bilal.
Okay.
Well, and yeah, the rest amount is $6.5 million, which I will be spending on. I'll be taking care of all the marketing and all the social media platforms, which is very important these days for getting all the consumers in. And I will also be taking care of the adventure sport activities, which will include
The coral gardening,
Coral-
I just forgot to mention about the coral gardening, which can help you in the adventure base.
Perfect, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So we'll be setting up the coral garden, and which we will be using it for our adventure-based activities, which is gonna be an advantage over our other competitors, because we're gonna be giving them scuba diving, snorkeling. We can do parasailing and lots of water sports. So this is an advantage of our resort over others. I really want to emphasize on coral gardening. It is the big chunk of money that we are
Yeah.
spending on.
Yeah, and at the same time, I feel like years apart, best thing you'll be providing education to the local at the same time, so they will have a
Exactly.
better income in
Yep,
future.
that's more knowledge and skill.
Yeah, knowledge.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so now coming forward. So what you guys reckon about the marketing and promotion of this thing, like how the eco-friendly and adventure-based, as you mentioned, can be blended together? How is gonna be work out?
Yeah, I feel like we need to take both sides, eco and Rico Resort and adventure resort, because I feel like because we need him from international, that means we going international, and it's gonna work. We're gonna blend it together. We're gonna make it together as eco resort and international resort.
I think your projects are going to play a very important role in that, because water treatment facility and rainwater harvesting storage facility, these two are very important things, which, because we can market them as an environment friendly prospect for the Langkawi people, and on top of that, we're taking care of the adventure sports. So these can be blended quite beautifully, because on one side, by setting up a coral garden, what we are doing is we are helping the aquatic life, and we are setting up that place for our water sports as well. So which will be scuba diving, snorkeling, and everything that we have discussed earlier. So it's a very important proposition from using your projects and my water-based activities and blend them together to market it as a perfect holiday destination for our customers.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
perfect.
So, as we think about our future clients, we'll have international and domestic. What do you think about the percentage differences? Would you need more international or domestic? So, what do you think about the client?
Well, Lucas, as you know, it's a Malaysian land, and as a part of a local Langkawi eco-sustainability society, I would be giving much more preference to the local Malaysian, domestic Malaysian people. So I reckon around 30% of domestic Malaysians would be coming as a tourist in a resort, and 70% of the international, because I just also want to have a look around the revenue, how much revenue we are generating from it. So yeah, 30% for domestic, and for international is around 70%.
Yeah. What about you thinking this way? When you say 30%, and we have this footprint coming in, we trying to go eco resort.
Mhm.
Yeah, we don't need more of a crowded population coming in and out. So what about if we have less number in domestic and more number international? Because they don't stay long. They're just there for a certain period of time, then they're out. What do you think about reducing your number to maybe 30% or 10%?
Well, I know you are talking about the revenue
Yeah.
because more number of
It's economical wise. Think about economical wise.
yeah, I completely understand you're talking about the economy, like more people of international tourists coming towards the resort and more revenue coming towards our project. But see, the local Langkawi, because it's the part of Malaysian land,
Yeah.
we can't just leave our local Malaysian domestic people out of nowhere because they
we
own their
we're not
land.
leaving them. We give them a portion, and
Yeah.
they're getting
No,
things.
but
from
the
it.
thing is, look,
Yeah.
we can't reserve the whole resort, 30% of the resort just for the Langkawi people. That's a big blow for our revenue.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't expect these many people to come out and stay in our resort in particular because I know there are lots of resorts all around the place, but for us, it's very important to choose a target market. So I think it will be better if we probably go with 80% of international and give 20% to Langkawi.
So if you want the resort still to still be running well and be get profitable, that means we need more.
More international,
Yeah.
I reckon like you are completely right, but 20% can't helpful because I need to look about the revenue, how much revenue we are generating, but also 25% I can make it. What about 25%? How it sounds to you?
I don't think 20 because I think look, I don't know if you get the point or not, but look, 75% of international, I mean, it's there, but I would really want to see 80%.
Yeah.
But if you're happy to go 23% and 77 for me,
That would be
international visitors,
Yeah,
that
that would
suits
be
our
perfect.
cause. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. What do you reckon?
So you are saying 23% for
Yeah.
domestic and 77% for international.
That's
Perfect.
correct.
Yeah. What do you
So in this way, you're gonna say that we are generating so much revenue, right?
Yeah, that's the profitable
it's
part.
Economical wise, the resort is still gonna run, and local people will go profitable on that.
Okay, if that's the case, I would be okay. Go with 23%.
Okay.
Perfect. That's the
Yeah,
okay.
that's still
Yeah.
done. Okay. So when you think about balancing local employees and international recruitment stuff, yeah, there's a number that we have already given us. Budget is 225 employees that we need to employ, and we think about running this resort. So in a resort service, what do you think the number we're gonna have in a resort service? What do you think the number of adventure based activities and eco development especially? Do you think you have a number for that?
Yes, we do. What we'll do is, so I've divided all the resort activities in 3 segments.
Mm-hmm.
So number 1 being resort services, which will be, I think, 190 people.
Yes, that.
And then we could go with adventure sports, which will be 24 people. And they can, for the ecosystem, because it's more of a technological prospect,
Yeah.
I think 11 people should be good with. And I think it's a satisfactory result, and
Yeah.
you should be applying with
Yeah,
it.
and a backup with that because resource service will be doing it into locally, so we'll employ more local. That's 190 people staff that are locally.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that will be locally employed, and the other 25%, they might be international, but they are really well trained, and they were coming and offer education to the local
So
staff.
you're saying 25% of the international
24%.
20?
24%.
24%.
Yeah, to run adventure services, because most of the local they're not really well trained to do.
Yeah,
service.
so like what do you mean? Like it's gonna be increase our wage cost, like, and it's gonna be like not much profitable.
It's gonna be because we already creating a job for you for the local guys, so the local will have a good job, and we already give them more than 90%. There's 90%. That's 190 people coming in. The only 10% you're sharing between adventure services and.
No, well, look, the thing is, I'll support Bilal on this because we can't have too many international employees working for us because that's going to sustainably increase our wage cost. So I think the wiser option will be to go with 90% of local community and then 10% that just to start out the business because we need to set those hospitality standards. We can try to get international, but as we train and scale our local community, I think we can get rid of them as well. To start with, 90% local and 10% international.
Yeah,
so 10% of like from Australia, right?
Yeah, I mean,
anywhere.
Just
And
international.
you reckon like they're gonna train and empower
Yes,
locals?
yes,
and-
right. Just to help them set up the initial years.
Yeah, it sounds good. 90% of the local staff and 10% of the international. It sounds
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like we have covered up all the bases, gentlemen. Well then.
So we'll
that
see how
should
the
be
results will run soon.
Perfect. Yeah, that should be enough the negotiation for us.
Okay.
And all the best, you guys.
And yeah, we'll be looking forward to a nice resort coming soon.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.